And so foot mobility and foot strength and stability is something we do a lot of here in clinic. And we think it's super important, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't do it. And the reason why we find it so important is that the feet are sort of like the main sensory drivers for your movement patterns. And so I love the saying the eyes are the window to the soul, and I believe that the feet are the window patterns to how well you're going to move just in general day-to-day life. And so the way that I kind of look at it from a very simplistic standpoint is the muscles control the joints or the bones, the brain controls the muscle, and then the feet gives the brain all the messages that it's going to use to make those decisions about what muscles to move and what bones and joints to move as well. So if you have garbage information coming in from your feet, you're going to get garbage information in your brain, and it's going to make garbage decisions around your movement patterns. And if you're doing garbage movement patterns, then you're going to get tight and stiff and sore, and things are going to start to feel like they're more laborious or harder than what they really should be. So a really nice way, I actually did this routine the other day, and it inspired me so much that I wanted to jump on and share it with you guys. So we're just going to go through a nice little foot massage routine that'll A, help soothe some tired and achy feet, but B, it's also going to increase sensory feedback, or like the information that your feet are giving your brain. So then hopefully you can start to make better decisions with your movement patterns. So we're going to get stuck into it. Full disclosure, I had to moisturize my feet because I've been walking around barefoot all day in clinic. We're usually barefoot in here. So before we put them on camera, I just wanted to give them a little like massage and a rub so they weren't too dry or gross. So you're more than welcome if you like grab a little bit of massage cream. It can sometimes just help, especially like if your foot's feeling a little bit dry or that like it's not gliding so smoothly. So the first one we want to sort of attack is underneath the foot, and we want to be working on, it's a little muscle called your adductor hallucis. So basically it pulls your big toe in, and it can be sort of like one of the reasons why you start to get a little bit of a bunion or formation on the outside of your foot. And so we're just going to grab the finger pads. So we're using the finger pads. We're just going to grip on underneath the base of that big toe, and then we're just going to pull that big toe backwards and forwards. And then as we go through and do it, we're just going to work our way down towards the heel, which is where that muscle inserts. And so you can spend, like 3 to 5 sweeps just to get down it, and then we can do a couple just to start getting some movement in here. And then this is like a really nice one as well. Like if you're getting any type of heel pain, this is often a common culprit. It's a little bit lazy, it's not doing its job, it's not working. And so then, as we mentioned before, it runs from like the base of the toe down into the heel, but there's also another branch that runs across like underneath the knuckles of the feet and forms like a figure 7. So with this one, what we can do, actually I might just move the camera down a smidge so that we can get a little bit closer on the foot. So from here, we can work down into, like again, just grabbing the feet with those finger pads, and we're just putting pressure in. We're just pulling that big toe backwards and forwards, and then we're working our way all the way out to that pinky. So I put a bit of moisturizing cream on, so my fingers are a little bit slippery. And we can just roll through that a couple of times, which is like a really nice little routine to go through. Again, as your fingers get stronger, you'll be able to put a bit more pressure on. So that's a really nice one as well. And then the other one we kind of want to work on is the flexor digitorum brevis. So part of the names, they're all in Latin, so they are like learning a whole nother language, but basically it runs from like the base of your foot and it controls each of your toes, and it's responsible for sort of doing this guy. So again, this time we'll go the same squat as what we did before, and we're just gonna grab the toes and move the toes now, put a little bit of pressure in, and we'll work up and down a few times through there. If you like, you can attack more of the outside, so that'll be getting more like your little toe and your, what's the equivalent of your ring finger toe, whatever it's called, fourth phalanx, if you want to be real technical. and we're just going to work through the toes there, giving them a nice little massage. And like we said before, they're responsible for sort of like gripping. So they're a really important mechanism for toe off, for calf raises, and they also help to fight. Or like if they're a little bit lazy, they'll also pop up with like that heel pain kind of presentation. Then we're just going to work through the lumbricals. So lumbricals are a couple of little muscles that sort of sit in between like your metatarsal heads or the bony bits of your feet here. And so if these guys under your toes are really lazy, these guys will be really tight, or they can get really tight when you use any like restrictive footwear. If you're in trainers a lot, where they're sort of like compressing your toes in together, or like, yeah, if you're basically, if your toes and the big toe and your little toe aren't the widest part of your foot, you want to be working on these lumbricals. So we're just going to grab our thumb this time, and we're just going to press our thumb in as we sort of like bend the big toe down. Then we're going to keep the thumb in the same spot. We're going to work the second toe, and then we'll move in between the second and the third toe, and we'll just press the second toe down, and then again with the third toe. Just doing like a couple sweeps. So like after 3 or 4, you'll start to feel it release and it moves on. More time isn't necessarily better. It's more just like trying to get as much blood flow and as much movement in there as possible, because these guys probably aren't moving a whole lot in their day-to-day activities. And so again, in between 3rd and 4th, and then we'll go in between the 4th and the 5th. And so again, just pushing that 4th toe down, coming through, pushing the little toe down. And so that's going to give like just a little bit of blood flow into the foot. It's going to start to get a bit more range of motion in there. That's going to start to increase some sensory feedback. And then we can go through and do some little mobilizations. So we'll just try and wedge all the fingers in between the feet, so you can start to spread out those toes a little bit. We can rock forwards and back. So I really like this. It's called like toga or toe yoga. And we're just working forwards and back, starting to get a little bit of movement. We can then start to twist the top of the foot whilst keeping the midfoot relatively stable. And then we also then want to get into like your big toe and start to loosen that up as well. So we'll just grab underneath like the knuckle of the big toe, and we can do 10 little circles each way, and then 10 circles the other way. And then that's like a really nice way of just waking up the feet. Then what you can do just to wake them up, you can go and do say like some calf raises, some double leg or some single leg calf raises. You can walk around the house barefoot. Just something where you can then start to make use of that increased sensation and that increased movement that you've got through your feet. Because like we said before, if you're getting better messages from your feet, then your brain will make better decisions around your movement patterns, and then you'll feel better, you'll move better, and you'll just be better in general. So I hope that, guys, has helped out. If you have any comments or questions, let us know in the comments below. But I look forward to doing a few more of these in the future. So if you have any other topics or stuff you'd like releases on or little routines on, let us know. Cheers, guys.